Hey guys, how's it going? Wiki Gaming here, and today I'm going to show you part 3 of the tutorial guide that I'm doing. Um, this one is going to be on endgame, so I have a whole ton of little notes right here. Just going to go over what I'll be covering in the video, so that way you guys aren't wasting your time because this could be quite a long video. I'll try to timestamp each little section, that way you guys can skip around if you need to. So what I'll be covering in this video is relics. I won't be going over the entire list. I'll be giving you guys the wiki link itself. I will go over some of my favorite relics on some of my favorite classes. Uh, so that's what I'll cover for relics. I'll be covering how to transition from Hell to Inferno because I know that's a big issue for a lot of players is, oh, I'm stuck in Hell. I only have a single satanic. I can't kill anything in Inferno. Well, what do? I'm gonna show you ways to push that boundary a little bit. I'm also going to be showing you how to quickly farm satanics. So that sounds stupid because it's pretty much farming the game, but I'm going to be showing you areas that personally I like better. There'll be areas that are pretty quick and have a lot of mob density, so I'll be showing you guys those areas. They're well known, so it's not anywhere special, but I will be demonstrating those. And looks like it for my notes. So with that said, we're gonna get started on the relics. So let me turn on my other projector. So this is the page to the relics. Has every single relic listed. Um, so we're not gonna go over every single one since, as you can tell, this is a pretty huge list. Um, but let's quickly go over the ones that I use. So I always get the Demon Sheep because he helps block projectiles. I always get the Fetus because he helps block projectiles. Same with Guardian Angel. Same with the Shredder, and same with the Templar, which is a shield. Let's see if I can got a picture right there. Templar. So those five, um, those follow your character around always. They're always right on top of your character, so they do quite a bit to help with your mitigation. So I like those. Um, on most builds, I will use the magnet that automatically pulls coins and keys and stuff towards me instead of me having to run right on top of them. It's really nice. For most caster builds, I will use homing shots. Let's control F. Homing. There we go. Homing shots. Makes all of my attacks home. So that's what I'll use on most caster slash range characters, like on my Marauder. I'll use that a lot. Let's do oversized. I use that on most characters. Doubles the size of projectiles. This also doubles the size of some skills, so just be wary. I won't say wary, but just be conscious of that. That for some skills it works, for some it doesn't. So just test it out, see if it works or not. If it doesn't, sorry. Another good one is the Monkey King bar. This one gives you flight and movement speed. This is the best flight relic out of the three, which is this one, the Holy Bible, which gives 3% stamina. That one's a pretty good choice, but I always prefer the movement speed because your relic movement speed can always go above the cap of 300. 300 is the cap movement speed you can get from gear. Anything above that is either through relics or through an Amazon or through a skill. So having relics with movement speed is really important. With that said, you're also going to want the spoon. So let's see. Spoon. This one gives movement speed in all stats. Nothing too amazing, nothing too bad. Let's see. The boots. Blazing. I really like this one. 5 movement speed makes a blazing trail behind the player. Just makes it so it does a little blazing trail when you walk. I like it because it keeps track of me when you have a whole bunch of mobs on your screen. It makes it a little easier to follow your character around. Um, what's another good speed one I might have forgotten? I cannot think right now. I know there's another one I'm forgetting that's probably really important. Oh, Rock Belt. Okay, yes, Rock Belt gives 10% move or 10 plus movement speed, so that one's really important. Now, for the block relics, or not block relics, the proc. I can't talk today, man. Proc relics. There's a couple key ones that I really like, and that will be the Holy Grail. Has a chance for a smite, um, and then it also gives you +2 talents. The only other way to get plus talents in your relics is through the mushroom. Um, mushroom, let's see, magic mushroom gives +1, so you can get +3 talents that way through your relics. What's another really good one? Storm dagger. This one alone, if I could spell right. This one alone, um, can give some builds almost 40 to 50 mil damage increase alone. So it is a really important one. Um, and speaking of that, Spectral Arrow, which is right above it, this only affects range classes, but it makes all of your projectiles go through any collision. So you can go through walls, barriers, enemies, anything. So it makes all of your projectiles pierce, which is really important, especially on like an Amazon, where your spearnage gets caught on a bunch of scenery and stuff. That changes everything. It just makes it so it just casts right through it. Really important. One of the key ones for a lot of classes. The next one I want to talk about is Amazon Spears. This one's really good because it gives you a ton of movement speed and also gives you attack speed, which I know some builds don't use, but it is really good. However, you do have to have the Amazon Jungle Bundle to get it. Highly suggest getting it just for this relic if you don't even play the Amazon because this relic is so good. Let's talk about the other flight relic, Amputation Kit. All it does is give you flight. That's it. Um, Cuts off your legs. I'm assuming this makes it so you can fly over some different or some terrain where you'd usually have to jump over since you won't have legs anymore. Not entirely sure about that. I have not tested that, but maybe that'd be one of the perks to having that over the Monkey King bar. Honestly, what I really suggest though, if you're a newer player and haven't been playing this game for a long time, I suggest pretty much picking up every single relic you find just to see if you like it, see what it does, and over time you'll eventually learn which all the relics do, which ones are good to pick up, which ones aren't good to pick up, which ones are good for your builds, which ones aren't good for your builds. So, not to be too vague on it, but unfortunately not going to go every single relic, but there's a lot of information online, and just play around with it. Just have fun. Pick up a ton of relics, see what you like, toss them, and the way to toss them, let's actually do this real quick. The way to toss them is in town. You go to Torsten Neal, and then you do the thing, reset all relics. And then, are you sure you would want to reset all relics? You'd go, yes, please, and press F. For me, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to reset all my relics right now. But that's how you would do that in game. The next thing we're going to really go over is transitioning from Hell to Inferno and being able to farm efficiently and being able to get all the satanic items you really need. So there's going to be a couple key ways to do this, and one of them is mining. So mining is a very, very key skill right now in the game. It was newly added with Season 8. Uh, let's show you exactly where the mining trainer is. He is right here. You have to talk to him, learn mining, mine the 50 copper ore, how to mine. So let's just see if we can find a mining node real quick. Alright, so finally found a mining node. This is what it looks like on the map. Get out of here, books. This is what it looks like on the map. They look like little golden mushrooms. They're not though. How to mine, really easy. You just hit it. You have to line up with the golden bar. Real simple. Just boom, boom. If you line up perfectly, you get 2 times the amount of ore. So, for example, got 2 right there, got 2 right there, 2 right there, and just 1 right there because I'm bad. 2, 2, and 2. And the way I always get 2 usually is you tap it pretty much right before it lands on the next or on the golden bar. So like, for example, right now. And no. No, there you go. That wasn't a good example. Not gonna lie, that wasn't a good example. But that's how you mine. Mining's really important because it gives you jade. Jade's worth a lot. Currently in the economy, it's worth about 18 to 20k per. So that's definitely a good way to get started when you don't have any items. Is you can mine basically a ton of jade and sell it to people and start buying items that way. The next way I'm going to go into is actually just farming it out. So we'll be going over killing bosses, things like that. So let's save and exit. So we're just going to make a game in hell. Now what I always suggest is farming the highest boss you can do that's very quick to spawn. For example, easy ones to do are Damien Phase 1. Satan is really good. The fish boss is okay. Skip Mevius, it's not worth it. Pyramids is good too, and so is Gurog. The only one that's really not worth it basically is Damien Phase 2 because of all the heads and everything, and it just takes so long. It's not worth it. Like let's just watch just a normal Devil's Breach run. Now, granted, I am wearing really good gear and I have like a ton of movement speed and everything. So obviously, it's not gonna compare to a brand new character who has mythic only items. However, this is essentially what you would do. Is you just run the Devil's Breach. Now you could still get Satanics in Hell, by the way, so don't lose hope thinking that you can't get good drops. You can actually get really good items in Hell. Technically, since the monster level is above 100, that's all the game really needs is the monsters being level 100 or higher for most Satanics. Now, technically, they can drop in Nightmare, since the lowest level Satanic is for level 68. So they can drop in Nightmare. It's just very rare compared to like Hell or Inferno. Basically, you're just gonna do this until you get enough rubies / gear just to farm the mobs in Act 1 normal, or not normal, Act 1 Inferno. So you see, that was really quick. Always bring keys with you, buy a lot of keys, And just farm this guy over and over, real simple, doesn't take a lot of time. But you're basically going to do that until you have the gear or are able to buy the gear to start farming Inferno. And here's why it's really important to start farming Inferno. This kind of goes back into mining, but now you're able to start mining ruby and jade ore. So, for example, say you can't even kill the boss. If you could just go around and kill the trash mobs, that already drastically increases your chances of getting a satanic item compared to playing a game in hell. You're also going to be getting more gold, more experience. Sorry, I know it's kind of annoying me picking up all these mythics. But basically you just do that over and over and over um, until you could get enough drops or get enough ore to start buying items. Because there are players out there that are selling really good satanic items for pretty cheap. You could usually buy a starter build for anywhere from 100 to 200,000 rubies, which in a couple of hours of time of farming jade, that's not going to take you a long time at all. Um, so I definitely suggest going that route in terms of progressing right now. But if it was for the brand new start of a season, you'd basically just sit here and have to continue doing this over and over until you could farm the bosses. And then you just keep killing bosses as far as you can go. And loot the drops from them. One thing I want to talk about is how satanic items drop in this game. Currently, as of Season 8, it is based on seeds. So, every time you do a map, for example, I loaded up this Mevius Manor, I just rolled up a certain seed. On this seed, it can say, yes, I can drop satanic items, or no, I cannot drop satanic items. Um, it's either one or the other. It doesn't matter how much magic find you have, doesn't matter how many chests you open, it's gonna be able to drop satanics or it's not. If it's not, it's basically a wasted map, you're just doing it for the experience. So, with that said, you want as much speed in your build as possible, and you want to be able to clear maps as fast as possible so you can get to the good seeds. So that's when your magic find does play a key role. When you do get to the good seeds, it you start dropping quite a bit more items. For example, you might find a map where you just drop like 2 or 3 satanics on, where you have a dry streak for like 15, 20 runs straight, and then you drop another 1 or 2 satanics, the same exact map. So, that's how seeds work in this game. It's completely seed based, and that's also how satanics work, or not satanics, but angelics work. The map has to roll yes for a angelic to drop or not. So just keep in mind as you farm, the faster you are, the better. The more you can, or the faster you clear the map, the faster you get a better seed and the better chance of getting loot. So just keep that in mind while you're farming. This game is seed based, unfortunately, so speed is everything. So some of my favorite zones to farm right now currently is Mevius Manor. What I like to do is just a quick little speed farm. You just kill the monsters on top. You don't go to the basement. We're just gonna skip picking up the mythics right now. Just to demonstrate a speed run. I really should be casting hammer as well, but I didn't. I'll go back for that ore. It's always important to mine the ore. This is where a lot of your money is going to come from. The economy is kind of flooded with items right now. Um, so it's really important to mine ore because you could always get that satanic drop, but you don't know if it's going to be worth anything. So mining is always just a guaranteed way to do it. And you see how quick of a run that was. It's a lot of experience, very fast, easy to level in. Tons of loot. I get tons of satanics here all the time. So definitely one of my favorite zones. Some of the other zones I'll show you though. Of course I failed my portal. So I'll just clip this out. Alright, so some of the other zones that farm that are really good. Mossarithum Desert. Really good for mobs and rubies because it spawns the temple. But if you want to farm for like Shadow Realms, and I'll go into Shadow Realms in a second, but if you want to specifically farm for Shadow Realms, Dry Hills is the way to do it. Uh, because it could spawn, I believe, 5 or up to 5 zones within the layers, where most zones can only spawn up to 3 to 4. So technically, it's like the biggest map you can get. So definitely worth running that one. If you want just a bunch of experience, Highland Mines is really good too. It's compared to Mevius Manor. It's the only thing different with the Highland Mines is they added these little new mobs that explode on death. So just be careful so you don't get killed. But still, it's quite a lot of experience. It's very quick to run. As you can see, we're already done with the run pretty much there. Very quick to run, a lot of experience, a lot of good drops. So definitely a good spot to farm as well. Oh, rock belt. Now, the reason why I showed in my other clips me picking up all those other mythic items, they're worth selling. So I'll just demonstrate. No, I don't want to sell that. So let's just quickly sell these. And this is just for the dust. Okay. So in hardly no time, I was able to accumulate 60 dust. So you can sell each dust for 500 gold. So within no time at all, I was able to farm up 30 gold or 30,000 gold. Um, you can farm up gold pretty quickly, but 1 million golds does sell for like anywhere from 150 to 200 something thousand rubies right now. So that's another route to farm up a lot of rubies to buy gear. So randomly throughout maps, you can get a spawn of a Shadow Realm. There are 2 different spawns that could spawn with a Shadow Realm. It's either an unstable rift or the Shadow Realm itself. Don't even bother with unstable rifts. I'm not even going to showcase it in the video. They are a waste of time. They don't give anything special. It just gives you 10 waves of mobs that very slowly spawn. It'd be different if it gave you like a satanic item at the end or something, but it's utterly worthless. Don't waste your time on unstable rifts. But this is what a Shadow Realm looks like. We're just gonna quickly run it. Inside the Shadow Realm, you have a chance to spawn a vendor. That is not a Sheen, that is a different vendor. I will show you once we find him, hopefully. Now, you do have to remember when you enter the Shadow Realm, the mobs are almost double the level of the ones outside. So compared to the item level, uh, or the monster level 250. These ones are 437, so quite a bit higher. Just be careful while you're doing this on like hardcore or something. Keep that in mind. I will skip the mines for now. There's Veras. This is the shadow or the black market vendor. He could sell any satanic item in the game except for boss items. So, like the shadow carver, for example, he cannot sell the shadow items. That has to be dropped from the boss only. Let's see what we have to buy. Nothing good. Golden Crusader and Plague Aegis. Nothing special, but all the items he sells for are all random quality, and they're all 100,000 coins or 100,000 rubies. He does also sell dimensional shards, which are used for the Uber Death fight. He sells those for 50,000 rubies per. So this is what you're really looking for when you come to the Shadow Realm, is the black market vendor, because he can sell some of the rarest items in the game. Especially like some of the boss items or some of the Steve items. For example, on my follower, the Steve's Mighty Sword, uh, the vendor could sell that, and that can net you anywhere from 20 mil plus. So just keep that in mind. Definitely worth farming for. It sometimes takes a lot of time to farm for though. It is one of the rare finds inside the game is just to sit here and farm for Shadow Realms. Um, There'll be people who sit here and farm for an hour straight, 2 hours straight, without a single Shadow Realm spawn. So just keep that in mind. They are fairly rare, but they do spawn up. So just definitely keep an eye out for them. They're a good end-game content to do. They do give you higher level monsters, so you're getting a lot of experience. They have a lot of mines in them, and they have sometimes a Shadow Realm vendor, sometimes they don't. Um, yeah, the Shadow Realm vendor isn't 100% spawn rate. I don't know the exact odds on it, but I would say he's anywhere from 75 to 80% spawn, give or take, in that area. The last bit of advice I could give for this video is definitely try to farm in groups. It boosts your magic find and experience percent bonus up quite substantially. I think it's like 15% per player. So that always helps. And it always helps to have someone who's a little more geared than you just be able to rush you through content if you're struggling, because there's always people who are willing to help out in this game. So don't be afraid to ask for a party or just to party up with somebody. Definitely one of the ways to go. I always notice I always get a lot more drops in multiplayer games compared to single player games. So just one of the things to think about while you're playing Hero Siege. Even if you're a solo player, sometimes it's good to just party up for a couple hours, get a couple hero levels, get some satanics, and call it good from there. One note I wanted to finish on though is that farming act bosses is really profitable both for rubies and gold and relics and things like that. You can also get wormhole key drops pretty often from act bosses, so like farming Gurog is really good to do. Other than that though, I think we're going to finish the video on that note. Um, what to look forward to in my next tutorial or in my next guide um, is going to be trading. I'm going to be showing how to trade using the Hero Siege Discord. I'll also go over trading on HS builds. This will help you be able to learn how to trade in Hero Siege, since it's hard to just get a bunch of items and not know what to do with them. So I'll try to help you out there. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to subscribe and check me out on twitch.tv.com or feel free to check me out at twitch.tv/WixiGaming, and I hope you all have a great day, and thanks for checking out the video.